Clara and Ethan, two souls inseparable since childhood. They shared laughter, secrets, dreams, their bond unbreakable, or so they believed. They were the best of friends, two halves of a whole.
Summers were spent exploring hidden creeks, building forts of dreams.
Winters were for sharing stories by the fireplace, their laughter echoing in the night.
Years flew by, each day a testament to their enduring connection. But time, a relentless sculptor, began to reshape their feelings. Ethan, with a heart full of hope and fear, confessed his feelings. He had been holding on to this secret for so long, the weight of it pressing down on him every single day. Today, he decided, was the day he would finally let it out. He poured out his soul, his voice trembling with emotion. Every word he spoke was laden with the depth of his feelings, feelings that had grown and blossomed over the years. His eyes glistened with unshed tears, reflecting the vulnerability he felt in this moment.
Clara, I need to tell you something. This isn't easy for me, but I can't keep it inside any longer. I think I've always loved you. From the moment we met, there was something about you that captivated me. I've tried to ignore it, to push it away, but it's only grown stronger.
Clara listened, her breath caught in her throat. She had always seen Ethan as her best friend, her confidant. The idea that he felt something more was both surprising and confusing. She cherished their friendship, the one constant in her life. They had shared so many memories, so many laughs and tears. The thought of losing that was almost unbearable. The thought of jeopardizing it filled her with dread. What if things changed between them? What if they couldn't go back to the way things were?
Ethan, I don't know what to say. This is so unexpected. I never imagined you felt this way.
Rejection, she feared, would shatter their world beyond repair. Clara, overwhelmed, hesitated. She didn't want to hurt Ethan, but she also needed to be true to her own feelings. She needed time, space to process this unexpected revelation. She needed to understand her own heart and what it truly wanted.
It's okay, Clara. Take all the time you need. I don't want to rush you or pressure you. Your feelings matter just as much as mine. I'll wait for you forever if I have to. Your happiness is what's most important to me.
Little did they know, fate had other plans. Their story was far from over, and the path ahead was filled with unexpected twists and turns. A cruel twist of events waiting in the wings. The seeds of love they had planted would face storms, but whether they would bloom or wither was yet to be seen. A shadow fell upon Clara's life, casting a long dark veil over her once bright and hopeful days. Her father, her rock, her confidant, fell ill. The man who had always been her pillar of strength was now frail and vulnerable, lying in a hospital bed. The diagnosis, a gut punch. It was as if the ground beneath her feet had crumbled away, leaving her in freefall. The words of the doctor echoed in her mind, each syllable a hammer blow to her heart. Fear, a constant companion, gnawed at her. It was an insidious presence creeping into her thoughts, her dreams, her every waking moment. She feared for her father, for the future, for the unknown. Clara retreated inward, building walls around her heart. She felt she had to be strong to protect herself from the overwhelming tide of emotions threatening to drown her. She shut out the world, believing it was the only way to cope.
Clara, my dear, we need to be strong now more than ever. We can face this together, but you have to let me in.
Ethan watched, helpless and heartbroken, as she slipped further away. He could see the pain in her eyes, the weight she carried alone, and it tore him apart.
Clara, please, let me be there for you. You don't have to go through this alone. We can share the burden, lighten the load.
He wanted to be her solace, her shoulder to cry on. He longed to hold her, to comfort her, to be the support she so desperately needed. But Clara, consumed by worry and grief, pushed him away. She felt that her pain was hers alone to bear, that no one else could understand the depth of her sorrow.
I can't, Ethan. I need to handle this on my own. It's too much, and I don't want to drag you down with me.
Ethan, respecting her need for space, stepped back. He knew she needed time, but it didn't make the distance any easier to bear, felt the distance growing between them. The once inseparable couple now found themselves on opposite sides of an emotional chasm, each longing for the other but unable to bridge the gap. Clara, lost in a sea of emotions, found herself surrounded by a mountain of unsent letters, each one a fragment of her heart, each one a piece of her soul. She poured her heart out in a letter, her pen moving with a fervour that matched the storm inside her. Words filled with her fear, her confusion, and the unspoken feelings she had harboured for so long. Her unspoken feelings for Ethan, the man who had unknowingly captured her heart. Each sentence, a tear that stained the paper, each word a cry from the depths of her soul.
Dear Ethan, I don't know if I can ever say this to you in person, but I need to write it down. I need to let these feelings out, even if only on paper. My father's health is fading, and with each passing day, I feel the weight of the world pressing down on me. My father's health is fading, and I'm terrified of losing him. And you are the light in my darkest days. And I'm terrified of losing him. And you. I've realized I love you, but I'm too afraid to embrace it. I've realized I love you, but I'm too afraid to embrace it. The thought of losing you, of ruining what we have, paralyzes me. But I'm too afraid to embrace it. I can't bear the thought of ruining our friendship or burdening you with my pain.
She wrote of her father's fading health, her terror of losing him, and of Ethan, the love she realized she felt but was too afraid to embrace. Her terror of losing him, and of Ethan, the love she realized she felt but was too afraid to embrace. She wrote of the night she spent awake, thinking of him, longing for him, of the love she realized she felt but was too afraid to embrace. But fear, a cruel jailer, held her captive, chaining her heart and silencing her voice. But fear, a cruel jailer, held her captive. It whispered lies in her ear, telling her that her love was a burden, that her feelings were a curse.
I can't bear the thought of ruining our friendship or burdening you with my pain. So this letter will stay hidden, a silent testament to a love unspoken. So this letter will stay hidden, a silent testament to a love unspoken. A love that will remain locked away, safe from the world, safe from rejection.
The fear of ruining their friendship, of burdening Ethan with her pain, kept the letter hidden. It became a secret she carried with her, a weight that grew heavier with each passing day. A silent testament to a love unspoken. A love that, despite its silence, burned brightly in her heart, a flame that refused to be extinguished. Clara's father lost his battle.
Grief consumed me, leaving me hollow and lost.
She made a decision, one born out of despair and a need to escape.
She left a note for me, not explaining, not saying goodbye, and then she disappeared.
Ethan, receiving the note, felt his world crumble.
I searched for her, desperate to offer comfort, to share her pain.
But Clara was gone, vanished like a whisper in the wind.
Years turned into a blur of emptiness.
Ethan, though scarred, held on to the memory of Clara, a beacon in his darkest hours.
I never stopped hoping, praying for the day she might return.
Years later, a familiar face appeared in town. Clara, older, bearing the weight of her past, returned to the place where it all began.
She carried the scars of loss, the regret of running away. She sought out Ethan, her heart pounding with a mixture of hope and trepidation. She needed to see him, to apologize for the pain she had caused.
Ethan, hearing of her return, felt a surge of emotions. Joy, anger, and a love that time had not diminished. He had yearned for this moment, yet feared it at the same time. Their reunion was bittersweet, filled with unspoken words and lingering sadness.
With trembling hands, she revealed the unsent letter, bearing her soul after all these years.
Ethan, reading the words she had written, felt a wave of emotion wash over him. The love, the fear, the pain she had carried alone. It shattered his heart.
He forgave her, understanding the depth of her grief, the impossible choices she had faced. In that moment of shared vulnerability, their broken pieces began to mend.
They talked for hours, sharing their pain, their regrets, their hopes for the future. The years of separation melted away, replaced by a renewed sense of understanding and forgiveness.
Ethan's love for Clara had never wavered. It had been his anchor during the darkest of times. Now, seeing her again, he knew he couldn't let her go.
Touched by his unwavering devotion, she finally allowed herself to believe in the possibility of happiness. The love she had once feared now felt like a lifeline, pulling her from the depths of despair.
They embarked on a new chapter. their love story rekindled with a newfound appreciation for each other. The years of unspoken feelings and missed opportunities faded into the past.
They had weathered the storms, emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable.
The last letter, once a symbol of fear and regret, became a testament to the enduring power of love.
Clara and Ethan, two souls forever linked, finally found solace in each other's arms. Their love story, a tapestry woven with threads of friendship, loss, and the enduring belief in second chances.